Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
All right, let's begin. Om ajïäna-timirändhasya jnananjana-çaläkayä cakñurunmilitam yena tasmai çré-gurave namaः çré-caitanya-mano sthäpitam yena bhü-tale swayam rupa kadamayyam dadati sva-padäntikam vandeham çré-guroù çré-yuta-pada-kamalam çré-gurün vaishnavamscha Shri-rupam sagrajatam sahagana raghunathanvitam tam sajivam sadvaitam savadhutam parijjana sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvishe Namaha. So we are on chapter 7. Yesterday we learned the stotras, the prayers given by Shankaracharya, and both the philosophies, Advaita philosophy and the Dvaita philosophy. Advaita philosophy is where everything is Brahma, superconscious energy, and the Advaita philosophy is that where Bhagwan and the devotee, they exist. Okay, so we learned Bhaj Govindam and all. Now we are getting into chapter 7 of Gita, and from chapter 7 onwards, Bhagwan will speak about bhakti in detail and all the way till the end. In chapter 6, he had spoken about Sankhya. It was more analytical, and we understood how he has explained. And then Arjuna went and told Bhagwan, so difficult, not possible, give us something easier. And just for us, Bhagwan is giving something easier from chapter 7 onwards. He says, Sri Bhagwanu Vacha, Maya Saktamana Partham Yogam Yunjan Madashraya Asanchayam Samagram Mam Yatha Agyasyasi Tachrunu. I have already spoken on this shloka in the last lecture. So I'm going to just go ahead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pritha, now hear from me how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full and free from doubt. Bhagwan starts with him. The entire Gita, I have explained in the past also, Bhagwan will be talking in both ways. He has mentioned two paths. One is the Jnana Yoga and one is the Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga means the same. Jnana Yogena Sankhyana, Karma Yogena Yoginam. So till 6th, he explained Sankhya to the fullest. Now 7th, he starts with Bhakti only. The first sloka starts with Maya Asakta Manaha. Wherever Bhagwan says Mai, me means him, a form. When Bhagwan has to talk about Advaita, he will talk about Parabrahma, that, this, some other word in third person. But when he speaks on himself, we have to know Bhagwan is talking about Bhakti Yoga. This is how you analyze in the Gita. And certain places he will use the words Prakriti, Maya. So you should know what he's mentioning. Okay, about his Shaktis, about his energies. So many things are hidden inside the shlokas. A proper reader will know how to read the book. So here in Sanskrit Shloka, Maya asakta manah partha yogam yujan mad ashrayaha. Mad means unto me. Maya, on me. So the Bhagavan said, please put your mind onto me. Me means the form, Krishna. And do your yoga. Yoga means join with me. Yunjan mad ashraya. Take my shelter. Worship accordingly. Asanchayam samagram. Mam. Yatha gyasasi tashrunu. In this way you will know me fully. By putting your mind onto me, worshipping me, taking my shelter, you will know me fully. There is no doubt. And I'm going to give you that full knowledge now. And in this same purport, there were shlokas from Srimad Bhagavatam. How do you know about Krishna? How can you put your mind on Krishna? How does he do all these things? So the shloka says, Shunvatam swakatha Krishna, punya shavana kirtanaha, hidyantastu habhadrani, vidunoti suhritsitam. Bhagwan is our suhrit. Suhrit means our friend, best friend. When somebody is listening, the kathas, the stories of Krishna, Krishna becomes very happy. And Krishna residing in the heart of that devotee, the katha is going from here, and Krishna is residing in the heart, all the impurities of the heart go away. All the impurities of the heart are cleansed. The heart becomes very pure, very clean for that person who is listening the stories and the glories of Krishna. He is the best friend of such a devotee. Nashta prayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttam shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. The one who has the practice of hearing Bhagavad, serving the Bhagavad. There are two types of Bhagavad. One is the Bhagavad, the book. So not only the Srimad Bhagavatam, all those books which talk about Bhagwan, either the Ramayana or the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad, the Upanishads, the Vedas, where the topics of Bhagwan are discussed, those kind of books is one Bhagavad. Another Bhagavad is the devotee Bhagavad. All the devotees of Bhagwan, they only talk about God. Who is a devotee? Who is always engrossed in God? So if somebody is serving these two Bhagavats, reading the Bhagavatam or the Bhagavad Gita and associating with the devotees of the Lord, here in this shloka says, Bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Their bhakti, their devotion becomes very strong, and all the impurities of their heart just goes away. Nashta prayeshva bhadreshu. All impurities, all problems of their lives also go away. All inauspicious things go away. When somebody is when somebody is daily listening to the Bhagavad Gita or the Bhagavatam and serving the devotees, reading those books where Bhagwan is glorified. Tada rajastamo bhava kamalobhadayaschaya icheta etairana vidham sitam satve prasiddhati. The one who is daily serving Bhagavatam, the devotee Bhagavatam and the book Bhagavatam, they're freed from the three modes of material nature, the Rajoguna and the Tamoguna. They go away and they are situated in the Satoguna, which is very beneficial for spiritual path. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogatah bhagavad tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate. This person, those who hear this, their material lusts are diminished, their avarice is diminished, and when these impurities are wiped away, this devotee lives in the mode of goodness and is always very happy, and he is enlivened by devotional service, and he understands the signs of God. Vidyate hridaya granthis, chidyante sarva samshaya, shriyante chasya karmani, drishtva eva atmani ishvare. This bhakti yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come to the stage of asamshayam samagram, that is understanding the supreme absolute personality. Chidyante sarva samshaya, all his doubts are gone, all the knots are in his consciousness are broken. What are the knots? The knots of rag and dvesh, kam, lobh, etc. Rag and dvesh is, we like something, we dislike something. We spoke about that in chapter 6. So many things in our daily interaction, we are only collecting these two things, liking and disliking. And these are making various knots in our subconscious mind. So when somebody is listening to the pure kathas, pure stories of Krishna, all these impurities and all these knots are broken away. These knots are the reason for our ego to grow. Our ego grows because we like something. So I like only this. So I'm egoistic. My ego likes that. I don't like this person. My ego does not like this person. I don't like this food. This food. My ego does not like this food. It means that. So all this liking, disliking, rag and dvesh creates many knots. So when somebody is listening to the stories of Bhagavatam, listening to the Bhagavad Gita, all these knots are cut off. The heart becomes pure, the consciousness becomes pure. Chidyante sarva sanjaya, all doubts are removed. And chiyante chasya karmani, all the karmic effects are removed. Such a person will not do any karma which will bind him again. And all the past karmas that he had done, he knows now why he is in this situation. He won't, by the knowledge itself, those past karmas are gone. The material affection, they are severed, the ties are severed. And drishtva atmani ishvare, when these three conditions are satisfied, all doubts gone. Past sinful karma, past karmic reactions gone. Knots of the heart, knots of the consciousness broken. When all these three things happen, then drishtva atmani ishvare, that person sees Bhagavan, the supreme controller, inside his own heart, inside his own soul. So atmani ishvare, that word means self-realization. Where? Inside the soul. The day you get self-realization, you get God-realization. Self-realization is equal to God-realization. But to go to that, how do you go to self-realization? How do you achieve that stage? It starts from Shrunvatam Swakatha Krishna. It starts from hearing the glories or the words of Krishna. So we are reading Bhagavad Gita, we are hearing the words of Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, so many things Bhagavan will say about himself. We are hearing the glories of Krishna. The more and more we hear, the more and more our consciousness becomes purer and purer. And this pure consciousness will lead us to the state of self-realization. And when you see yourself, you see Bhagavan. How do you see Bhagavan? You are always part and parcel of that great self of Bhagavan. This Atma is always part and parcel of Paramatma. That realization becomes perfect. And when you come back to this world, everybody else is also the same. You are beyond now all the three gunas. Now no raga or dvesh, now no lust. Raga or dvesh means no liking and disliking. Now no more lust, no more anger, no more jealousy, no more nothing. All those vices are gone. Drishtva eva atmani ishvare. So Bhagavan goes in Shloka number 2. Jnanam te aham savijnanam idam vakshyami asheshatah yagyatva neha bhuyo anyagyatya tattvam vashishyate. I shall now declare you this, the full, I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous, this being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. And he goes on. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschinnam veti tatvatah. Out of many thousands of men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So Bhagavan is saying, people walk on the spiritual path and they achieve success. But out of all the successful yogis, there is rarely someone who knows me, who knows everything of me. Who am I? So now he goes on telling, O Arjun, bhumi rapo analo vayu kham mano buddhi revacha ahankaram itiyam me bhinna prakriti ashtadha. O Arjun, I'm telling you that knowledge by which, knowing which you will not, there will be nothing left to know. So now let me tell you one thing. I'm going to introduce you to my Prakriti, my different material energy. Prakriti is my material energy. Everything that you see in the world is made out of this material energy. This material energy is separate from me, and it constitutes of 8 things. What are the 8 things? He says earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. All together, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. So Bhagavan says, I am there always. And I have expanded myself everywhere. How did I expand myself everywhere? Through my material energy. That material energy is also my part, but it is separate from me. I'm standing in front of you, I'm talking to you, but at every place, my material energy is there. Okay, so what is this material energy constituting of? 8 things. So when we describe about Prakriti, it is called Prakriti. Prakriti means material energy, nature. So when you look into nature, nature will have 8 things, 8 ingredients, 5 main ingredients. What are the, when I tell you describe nature, you will say earth. Earth is nature. What else is there? Sea, ocean, rivers, water is nature. What else is there? Fire. Everywhere fire is there. Everywhere. You take 2 stones, you rub them, you'll see fire. My hands are there. There is no fire here, right? But if I rub it like this for some time, you'll feel the heat element. So there is no fire evident, but if I rub, the heat is generated. So the fire element is here. Sometimes when cars go at a very fast speed and then suddenly you brake and then the tire rubs the street, the concrete, and then you see sparks coming out. From where the spark came out? The fire element, even though it is not seen, but it is there. Only when you light the fire, you will see. But when you're not lighted, it is still there. The sun is outside, but we feel the heat inside. Fire element. So nature, Mother Earth is nature. Water is nature. Fire element is nature. Air. Everywhere is nature. Space. everywhere, here in space. So these are 5 things. This constitutes material energy, but this material energy are lower material energy. And Bhagavan says 3 more things. Mind, intelligence, and ego. All these 3 things are consciousness. Ego, what does ego means? Ego means the feeling of individuality, that I am. Ego means that. Sometimes people think ego is bad, ego is good. No, ego is not neither good, neither bad. Ego means I am. I exist. Why do you have that? Because you are a soul. You always existed. So that is going to be there in you, inherent, always. So these 3 things. Mind, intelligence, ego. Ego means the feeling that I exist, I am. So where do you find these 3 things? First 5 things, okay, we found in the non-living things, so-called non-living things, non-sentient. But these 3 things, where do you find? Mind, intelligence, ego? In the living things, in the living beings. So the living beings, Bhagavan says, are my higher energy. So the first 5 are the lower energies, lower material energy. The living beings are the higher material energy, because the living beings, using these 3 faculties, are exploiting the other things and making it useful for them. This living being is also is having all the 5 things, the 5 elements. This body is made up of all these 5 elements. It is made up of earth element. From where is the earth element going in the body? Wheat grains. From where is the grains coming? Okay, grains is a little tough, maybe a little. Let's take carrots, potatoes, root vegetable. We eat root vegetable. Where does it grow? Earth. Similarly, grains, where do they come from? Earth. You have to sow the seed in the earth, and then that one seed will give many other seeds. Earth. You eat greens. Where is it coming from? Earth. They take all the nutrition from the earth. So the nutrition is the earth element, and they provide it to us. In the same ground, you grow beet. In the same ground, you grow carrots. In the same ground, you grow turnips. All the 3 are different colors, because all the 3 have taken different nutrition from the earth. And when you eat it, you have taken that earthly nutrition. Parents ate that. Father ate that. He made a semen. From that semen, you came. Mother's womb, made out of earth element. You grew. So your whole body is made up of earth element. And water element, yes, it is there everywhere. In the whole body, only blood is flowing. Every part. Water element is there. Air, yes, without breathing, how is it possible to live? Air element is there. We break our knuckles. What is that? Air element. We blink our eyes unknowingly. Air element. I'm talking. I'm modulating the air inside. Air element. So the air element is everywhere. Similarly, space element is everywhere. Fire element, as I told you, everywhere. We feel we can be active only when the body has some heat. If the body does not have heat, we cannot be active. We'll be sleepy. We'll be in hibernation. So the heat element is everywhere. So this entire body, so Bhagavan is saying, other than me, there is this big nature, which is my part. And this nature is made up of 8 constituents. And these are the 8 constituents. And out of this, there are lower material energies and there are higher material energies. The living being is higher material energy. The living being is known as the Parashakti. And the other energy is known as Aparashakti. Aparashakti, Parashakti. Lower material energy, higher material energy. That's all. Okay. So nature is into 2 parts. Lower nature, higher nature. We belong to higher nature. So earth, water, fire, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego, all together, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. Aparayam itastva anyam prakritim vidhim me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. Besides this, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mine which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of the material inferior nature. So I explained you the inferior nature and I explained you the superior nature. Living beings are superior nature. Rest of the 5 elements are inferior nature. And Bhagavan goes on saying, Etad yonini bhutani sarvani iti upadharaya aham krishnasya jagatah prabhava pralayasthatha. All created beings have their source in these 2 natures. Of all that is material and all that is the spiritual in this world, know for certain I am both the origin and the dissolution. O conqueror of wealth, know this. Mattaha parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvam midam protam sutre mani ganaiva. O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Bhagavan is giving this, he said in the beginning, this is divine knowledge. What is the greatest divine knowledge? There is nothing which is superior to Bhagavan. To me, he has very clearly said, to me. He's not mentioning some third person. He's not mentioning some third person. He's not saying, oh, there is nothing superior to the Brahman. There is nothing superior to the super conscious energy. No, he's not saying all that. He's very openly saying, oh, conqueror of wealth, oh, Dhananjay, know that there is nothing superior to me. Who is saying? The one who is moving Krishna's chariot, the charioteer Krishna. He is in human form. He is boldly declaring, this human who looks like a human is boldly declaring, there is nothing greater than me. People may doubt. How is he saying that? Maybe Arjuna was doubting. Maybe some of you are doubting. Was he really Bhagwan? Well, you can keep doubting. He will go and prove in 11th chapter. So you have to wait and listen to the whole Gita to understand what he's trying to say. Who was he? At different steps, there'll be so many things which are challenging, which will create turmoil sometimes. But Bhagwan will go on answering every little thing. When Bhagwan makes this claim, oh Dhananjay, there's nothing superior to me. He will prove it when he shows his universal form. Mattaha partaram nasti kinchid asti Dhananjaya. Not even a single thing. Mayam sarvamidam protam. Everything rests upon me. As pearls are strung on a thread. Oh Arjuna, there are millions and millions of universes created. We all know there are so many universes. We know that. Even science has accepted it. All these universes, who has created it? My different energy called Prakriti, she has created it. But I am that thread. Like a garland, you take a garland and you put a lot of beads in it, then only the garland will remain. If the thread is cut, the beads will fall. Similarly, so many universes are made, but I am that thread who is holding all of them together. How are these universes made? These universes are made because of my material energy. These 8 constituents I'm given, they are making it. But they cannot do anything because I am the one sustaining them, my energy. They all rest upon me. O Arjun, Rasoham apsu kaunteya, prabhasmi sasi shuryoyah, pranavah sarva vedeshu, shabda ke paurusham rishu. O son of Kunti, I am the taste of water. How subtle. First he says everything rests on me. Then he uses the word, you know, Arjun, I am the taste of water. I really like this. When I read this, I really loved it. Next time when I took the glass of water and I'm drinking, and I'm like, okay, the water has taste. Till then, I had not tasted water. We are drinking water every day. But after reading the Gita, that day when I took the water and I'm like, okay, the taste of water. Oh, this is Bhagwan. We are looking for Bhagwan here and there, searching everywhere. We make a statement, Bhagwan is in everything. We say that so many times we say, oh, Bhagwan is in everything. And people say, I want to see Bhagwan. People say, I want to see Bhagwan. I want to feel Bhagwan. He said, I want to see Bhagwan physically. Bhagwan says, yeah, I'm in that water. That water you can see physically. You can feel it. You want to feel, right? Drink it. Feel it. I am the taste of water. I am the light of the sun and the moon. Bhagwan, but I thought water is so easy. It just comes like this. But Bhagwan, you have to be somewhere, I was thinking all the time, Bhagwan is somewhere higher. Okay. What is the highest thing that you see in your universe? Oh, the sun and the moon and the stars. Oh, forget about the moon and the stars. They did have the energy from the sun. I am the energy of that sun. So you want to see Bhagwan, right? Every day. See, we are always living in an illusion that we don't see Bhagwan. Always living in an illusion. But if you believe this statement, Bhagwan is talking, is saying, people say Bhagwan is in everything. Don't you? So then Bhagwan is saying here, I'm in sun. So believe it. Go to the sun and look. He is there. What happens is people want to sleep in the morning. So they put dark curtains. They don't want the sun's energy to come inside. But Bhagwan says, I am the sun. I am the light of the sun. I am the moon. And I am the syllable Om in the Vedas. People want to hear Bhagwan. Oh, Bhagwan, you have to talk to me. Bhagwan says, how do you talk? Through some sounds. Bhagwan says, okay, I am the sound of the Vedas. Where are the Vedas, Bhagwan? I don't have the time to read the Vedas. Okay, forget it. You don't have the time to read the Vedas. There is one thing called Gita Upanishad just for you guys in Kali Yuga. It is called Gita Upanishad. Only 700 shlokas. I am giving it just for you. Billions of shlokas, forget about them. I am giving it to you. I am that secret syllable. I am that pranava. I am that Om. I am the one speaking through the Vedas. And yet you will say, Bhagwan is not talking to me. I am that Om. It is written on the top, Bhagwan Uvacha. Yet you will say, Bhagwan is not talking to me. Bhagwan is talking through everything. We are not listening to him. We are not acknowledging him. We do not want to acknowledge him. We feel this is something ordinary because we are seeing him every day. We are drinking water every day, so we think this is ordinary. We are breathing him every day, we think this is ordinary. He has given us everything and he's in everything. And he is speaking to us through the Bhagavad Gita. But yet we will say, where is Bhagavan speaking? He's saying, I am the syllable Om. So you want to hear him, right? Hear the Om. What is that Om? Om is that anhad, unstruck sound. Practice it. Hear it. How will you hear that? You can hear that unstruck sound only when your mind is free of chaos. You walk on the street, a very crowded street, and somebody you see is walking in front of you. The street is very noisy. And then you are calling this person loudly. That person is not listening. You call him with lesser sound. He's not listening because the street is so noisy. But if the noise goes away, it's a very peaceful place. So even if with a little sound, if you call that name will go and that person will look at you. Is it not? So in the noisy street, your sound gets lost. In a silent street, even a little sound is heard. Sometimes in my home, when I sit, I can hear the tick-tick of the clock also. So silent. So in a noisy mind, in a chaotic mind, how will you call God? Even though you're calling, but your voice is getting lost. If you want to hear Bhagavan's voice, it's very silent. The frequency is very subtle. Your state of mind has to be zero chaos. Zero chaos. You want to listen to God, God's voice is very subtle. Your mind has to be very silent. So you have to practice that. If you want to hear the anahad Om, to hear that anahad Om, you have to practice meditation, dhyan, as the Sankhya Yoga. You have to go subtler and subtler and subtler. And the subtlest thing is your breath. You practice on the breath and you go to your subconscious mind. The day you sit there, no chaos. Even that hankering, people sit in the meditation, they're like, when will I see Bhagavan? When will I see Bhagavan? When will I see Bhagavan? And I'm like, first shut up. First shut up. Sit. Bhagavan is saying, I'm the breath. Bhagavan is saying, I'm in the heart. See that, observe that. Become observant. Constantly, when will I get this? When will I get that? When will I get this? Leave that habit. Be in the present. For years, you have been only trained. When will I get that? You're never satisfied with what you have. You have to get something. You have to get something then. And so Bhagavan also, that Bhagavan who is always with you, you have made it in your head. I have to get to that Bhagavan. You don't have to get to anything. He is there. He is there. You just have to become silent. You have to just become observant. And start from subtle things. Drinking the water. The taste of the water. Drinking even the soup. The taste of the soup. The taste of the dal. Everything. This is what you have to develop. But if you're not able to develop it now, be satisfied. Hearing the words of Bhagavan in Gita. He's talking to you. He is it not? He's saying, I am the taste of the water, Arjuna. What is there to give so much lecture on this? I am the sacred syllable Om. So if somebody is chanting Om, have the trust. I have chanted Om. This is Bhagavan's voice. that anhad is Bhagwan's voice. The day you become observant, the day you become silent, you will hear him. He's never far. He's never far. So he says, I am the syllable Om in Vedic mantras. I am the sound in the ether. And the ability in the man. I am the original fragrance of the earth. As I told you, everything is fragrant. Earth element. One fragrance is when the first rain falls and you smell the earth. That smell. Bhagwan's smell. There's another fragrance, like everything that you eat, the flowers are fragrant. The leaves are fragrant. The food that you eat are fragrant. How is that fragrance coming? The earth element. Everything that is fragrant, I am the fragrance. I am the original fragrance of the earth. I am the heat in the fire. I am the life of all that lives. You want to know God? Yes. Everything that is living on life energy. I am life energy. And I am the penances of all the ascetics. The tapasya that you're doing is Bhagwan. These statements, I'm telling you, even these statements are so meditational. If somebody meditates even on these statements, just meditate on these statements. They are themselves powerful to take you in a state of ecstatic bliss, experience of God. Just Bhagwan's statement. Why? Because Bhagwan says, I am that sound. When these words are coming from Gita, I am that sound of the ether. My sound is coming. If you meditate on this, he's saying, I am the penances of all ascetics. If you meditate on my sound, I am there. This statement itself. Bijam mam sarva bhutanam vidhi partha sanatanam buddhira buddhir matamasmi tejas tejasvinamaham. O son of Pritha, know that I am the original seed of all existence, the intelligence of the intelligent. Intelligence of the intelligent, okay? Intelligent. Now, what is intelligent? He will say. We think we are very intelligent. But we are not intelligent, really. When if we have not understood Gita, let me tell you, no matter what you know, you're still unintelligent. People come to me, I've always told this, people come to me from different backgrounds. They have learned so many things and they think they know so much. And I'm like, and when they talk to me, I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, you know nothing. First read the Gita. Oh, what is there in the Gita? I'm like, first read it. Read with me. Just trust me for some time, just 9 months of your life, give me. Trust with me, walk with me. Listen to the Gita. And then you think how much you have read in the past. Then you will understand. Because now, Bhagwan is talking. You might have read books written by some humans. This is not a book by human. This is Bhagwan is talking. Read the Gita. Then you know what intelligence is all about. Bhagwan says, I am the intelligence of the intelligent and the prowess of all powerful men. Balam balvatam chaham kam rag vivarjitam dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamo asmi bhartarishibha. I am the strength of the strong. Devoid of passion and desire, I am sex life, which is not contrary to religious principles, O Lord of Bharata, Arjuna. So here he is mentioned about sex life, not contrary to the religious principles. Bhagwan does not put sex life down. Understand this. The statement that is given is sex life, not contrary to religious principles. In our Indian society, Vedic culture, there are 4 ashrams. First one is the Brahmacharya ashram, where a young kid As we go to school in modern day, in those days, the students used to go to their gurus to learn. Even though I'm saying in those days, but these days still exist. There are still gurukuls. Those places are called gurukuls. These gurukuls still exist in Vrindavan. This gurukul exists in Shuktala. I had been there. And I've seen these gurukuls where students still come. They live in gurukuls along with their gurus. So many saintly people come. They are teaching these kids. So a kid, when he's very small, that's the right time to give the real knowledge to the kid. Whatever you teach to the kid when they are young, they will learn it and it is there for lifetime. So small kids, they go to these gurukuls and they learn from the guru all about his Bhagavad Gita. These scriptures which we are learning at so late in our life, which we got so late in our life, these kids, they get it very early in their lives. And they live a very Vedic life under the guidance of their guru. And they practice a celibate life. Their mind is not like the kids in the cities. So that early life, it is the concept is there is, if a person lives for 100 years, the first 25 years is the year where good sanskaras, good habits, good knowledge can be cultivated. So everybody should be given the spiritual knowledge as well as the knowledge of other books. What happens in our schools, we only get knowledge which will get us a job. Nobody is being taught anything spiritual, because then that becomes political. But in gurukuls, when the student goes to the teacher, all the spiritual knowledge, this higher knowledge is given. And when the kid becomes at a marriageable age, he can leave the gurukul, the school system, and then it is up to him. If he has understood everything clearly, and if he wants to get straight to the sannyasa ashram, means he wants to practice spirituality throughout his life and not get into family life, he can choose that path from there. Or another option is, if his parents want him to get into marriage and be with them, then he can leave gurukul. After he has grown up, after his schooling is done, then he can come back to parents' home, he can marry. And when he marries, he lives a religious life, a spiritual life. So both the husband and the wife, when they are married, they are given these teachings that this marriage is not for unrestricted, it's not only for sex life. Sex is just one part of it. To satisfy your carnal desires, yes, that freedom has been given to you in married life. You must beget good children. You must have good progeny. So sex is just one part of it, but you have to follow the principles of religion and live a good life and try to get good children. If you are good, if you are God conscious, if the parents are God conscious, then when they beget the children, they can pass their God consciousness to their children right in the womb. So first 25 years, you learn with the guru, you practice a celibate life. Next 25 years, you are in your married life. Now, married life to us is called an ashram too. So first we were in Guru's ashram. Now we are in our grihastha ashram, our household ashram. Our home is also ashram. So when we call our home is ashram, so if our home is an ashram, if our household is an ashram, how purely we have to keep the ashram then? What is happening in houses today? You go, you'll first see the bar. All sorts of bottle after bottles. Do you see bars in ashrams? So you have a household, but your household is not an ashram. Then people will come, eat, drink, and be merry. So that is in a household. That is not an ashram. Because if the household is an ashram, you will not bring in things like which you cannot consume, which is against the religious principles. So husband and wife both have to be knowing this. And in those days, because they were with the gurus, this training was given to both of them. The boy and the girl, they marry. Knowing that they are playing a very important part in this whole universe. They are going to bring in good souls in this universe. Help them work out their karma. The husband and wife are helping each other to work out their karmas. Both are meeting each other to help grow spiritually. The children are coming to help each other to grow each other spiritually. The marriage, the union itself is a spiritual union. It's not a bodily union. That is the concept. So when you're living in your household has to become an ashram. So at age 25, you marry, you have your kids. Kids are seeing the parents living so nicely. Kids, maybe the society is very bad outside. Maybe the society will also affect the kid. Maybe your kid may go towards the society. But let me tell you, if the kid has seen their parents living life correctly, even if the kids get distracted by peer pressure or outside society environment, at one point, when they are searching for answers in their life, everybody goes through that when they come there in their 40s. When they go through these books of Gita, and when they will understand through their own life experiences and whatever is written, and when they look back, and if they have seen their parents following this, it'll be a great inspiration for them. And they will get back to this path. I came to America, but nothing of America really affected my mind because I have seen my father in his tapasya. I could live here in this country, always remembering him till date. He was a tapasvi. I could do my tapasya. If he can do, I can do. I never left anything of spirituality because of my father. So that is the responsibility of parents. You make your household an ashram. We call it grihasthashram. So the concept was, first 25 years, you live in brahmacharya ashram along with the guru. You do your schooling and you understand everything. Then the next 25 years, you live in grihasthashram. And for the next 25 years, when your kids grow up, they will get married. They are in their own families. Now you are free from your responsibilities. At the age 50, you start planning your retirement. Like the whole life, you plan your retirement finances, right? Same way you start planning your retirement from familial life. And you start going towards vana. Vana means Vrindavana. You start going towards Vrindavan and all those forest areas where you can be away from this samsara, from your daily this thing, and then you can be peacefully meditating. But this will happen at the age 50 only if you have practiced it throughout. So from 25 to 50, when you're in the married life, it is very difficult to manage everything. Your practice of meditation, your family, your kids, it's very difficult. But at one point, the kids will grow up. They will be on their own. At that moment, if you have practiced your spirituality throughout, then it will be very easy for you to go towards the forest, towards the holy places and sit and meditate there. You should take break 2-3 months, 6 months, only for your own spiritual growth. So husband and wife both should go. So if the husband and wife are thinking in this direction, then at the age of 50, both will start going. If not, then one person will start going. So that from age 50 to the next 25 years is called Vanaprasthashram. Means it's a Vanaprastha means you are living in the forest like a hermit. You're living in Vrindavan like a saint, practicing those life, saintly life. At around 75 and beyond that, if one of the person is living or is gone, one of the spouse, then you're left alone. Then the rest of the life you must live like a renunciant, totally cut off from the world, at least mentally. So this was the concept given to us. So when Bhagwan says here, I am sex life, which is not contrary of religious principle, these are the religious principles which he is pointing to. Married life, properly, spiritual life, and bringing spiritual children in the world. This is how you have to live. Marriage is meant to help each other grow spiritually. All right. Ye chaiva satvika bhava rajasa tamasascha ye matte veti tanvidhi natvam te shute mai, knowing that all states of being, be they be goodness, passion or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am, in one sense, everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me. So Bhagavan says, so this material nature has 8 ingredients. He already told that. Along with that, he has told there are 3 nature. Material nature, when you talk of material nature, these are the 8 ingredients plus the 3 nature, 3 types of nature. What is the 3 modes of nature? Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So whenever we talk about Prakriti or material nature, we will talk about 8 ingredients plus 3 modes. 8 ingredients, you know, earth, water, fire, etc., mind, intelligence, ego. And the 3 nature is Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, which translates to mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So this is what material energy is made up of. 8 ingredients plus 3 modes. Bhagavan says these 3 modes, they are called guna. Guna means qualities, and gunas also means rope. So these 3 modes, these 3 gunas is the one which has tied every believing being. I am beyond all that. Everybody is tied to their nature. Everybody has a certain nature. So everybody is tied to their nature, but I am beyond the nature. The nature is under me. Tribhir gunai mair bhavairabhi sarvam idam jagat mohitam na vijanati mamebhya paramam avam. Deluded by these 3 modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. Devi yesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mame vaye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. He says, O Arjuna, I have told you all these things, but people cannot know. People don't realize me. They might think I'm ordinary. They don't understand this Prakriti is with me, and I'm above the Prakriti. They don't understand. Why? He says, this Prakriti of mine, Devi, it is divine. Gunamayi, it is all the 3 gunas, qualities of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, goodness, passion, and ignorance. And it is very difficult to cross this Maya. This Prakriti is also called as Maya. Maya means the great illusion. This Prakriti has created this great illusion. It is very difficult to cross this. People are not able to know me because in front of me is this Maya. And it is very difficult to cross. But if somebody surrenders to me, Mameva ye prapadyante, Maya metam tarantite, they will be able to cross this Maya very easily. So Maya is everywhere. The illusion is everywhere. And it is very difficult to cross this illusion. But if somebody surrenders to me, then this illusion goes away. Sometimes people say, oh, this Maya is not good. We don't look, in Gita, Bhagavan doesn't say Maya is not good. Bhagavan is using the word Devi. And Bhagavan is using the word Gunamayi. Devi means divine. Gunamayi means endowed with qualities. Bhagavan doesn't say, oh, Maya is so bad. We are saying Maya is bad. He doesn't say. He says, my Maya is very divine. My Maya, my energy is divine, and it consists of these 3 great qualities, the Sattva, Rajas, and the Tamas. Yes, it is difficult to overcome these 3 great qualities. But those who are always thinking of me, those who have surrendered to me, for them it is very easy. So we, as readers of Gita, who really understand Gita, we don't look Maya in a negative sense. Maya, thank you to Maya. Maya gave us so much experiences. Experiences of joy, who gave it? Maya. Along with joy, it gave us experiences of sadness. But that sadness only pushed us towards spirituality. So Maya was given to us by God. It's God's mercy, God's grace, Krishna's grace. He created all of us and he said, you want to enjoy life? Enjoy as much as I am enjoying. You can also enjoy. And this is my Maya. She'll give you everything that you want. But when you forget, oh, Bhagwan gave Maya and Maya is giving us, you forget Bhagwan. And then sadness comes. But the role of the sadness is to take you back to Bhagwan. So then the person whose eyes are open like this, they feel very nice. I never feel Maya is bad. I feel Maya is so good. It gave me so many things. When I was unintelligent, ajnani, I was enjoying the world. All the joyous moments I got, who gave? Maya gave. Thank you, Maya. And all those bitter experiences of life, where I silently cried or got angry, who gave? Maya. But those bitter experiences pushed me towards my spiritual life. Who gave? Maya. And when I completely got engrossed in spiritual life, I understood the meaning of everything, in and out. Now everything is known. The whole picture is clear. That Maya gave me yoga with Bhagwan. Now I know why she's called Yoga Maya. So I like her. Whether now after being with Yoga Maya all the time, that divine energy, that goddess, that Mool Prakriti, that Tripura, that Lalita, after being with her when I'm in the world and seeing the entire picture as it is, as is given in the Gita, now being in the world does not trouble me at all. What Bhagwan is saying, the stages, Sukha Dukkhe Same Kritvana, Labha Labho Jayajo. That stage, when you are in that stage, this Maya doesn't bother. You're always thankful to Maya under all circumstances. So when Bhagwan says, you understand this statement when he says, my Maya is divine. It is not ordinary. Yes, it is difficult to cross because you're forgetting. But those who remember me, somehow you will remember me. I'll ensure, because this Maya will make you ensure. She will make you remember him. Those who remember me, they'll be able to overcome the Maya. So Maya, all along, from the time we were born, Maya has been there with us. Maya came in the form of the mother. Maya came in the form of the father. Maya came in the form of friends. Maya came in the form of relations, experiences, everything. Victory, failures, everything Maya came in form of that. But throughout, Maya was helping us, helping us in the past, and is helping now also to go towards the highest goal, that is knowing Krishna. So here he says, Devi hiesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. Those who know this Maya, this energy of mine clearly, and those who surrender to me, they will come out of it. Then Bhagavan says, oh Arjuna, I told you so much things. Maya, this, that. And you have to surrender to me to conquer this Maya. But I have to mention four kind of people who will not listen to this, who will not surrender to me at all. Four kind of people who will not surrender to Bhagwan. Bhagwan says, I have to mention that also to you. Who are these four people? Namam duskrito no mudha prapadyante naradhama maya paritigyana asuram bhava mashritaha. Those miscreants, there are four types of people. These are miscreants. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish. Prabhupada has given very beautiful purport. So I will read the purport after this. So first, who are grossly foolish will not surrender. Second, who are lowest among mankind lowly people, they will not surrender. Whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, they will not surrender. And who partake of the atheistic nature of the demons, they do not surrender. I'll read the purport. It's a very beautiful purport. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that simply by surrendering oneself at the lotus feet of Supreme Personality Krishna, one can surmount the stringent laws of material nature. At this point, a question arises: how is it the educated philosophers, scientists, businessmen, administrators, and all the leaders of ordinary men do not surrender to the lotus feet of God? To the lotus feet of the all-powerful Supreme Personality of Godhead? Mukti, or liberation from the laws of material nature, is sought by the leaders of mankind in different ways, and with great plans and perseverance for a great many years and birth. But if that liberation is possible by simply surrendering unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then why don't these intelligent and hard-working leaders adopt this simple method? The Gita answers this question very frankly. Those learned leaders of society like Brahma, Shiva, Kapila, and Kumaras, Manu, Vyasa, Deval, Asita, Janak, Prahlad, Bali, and later on Madhvacharya, Ramanujarya, Sri Chaitanya, and many others who are faithful philosophers, politicians, educators, scientists, etc., surrender to the lotus feet of the Supreme Person, the all-powerful authority. Those who are not actually philosophers, scientists, educators, administrators, etc., but who pose themselves as such for material gain, do not accept the plan or the path of the Supreme Lord. They have no idea of God. They simply manufacture their own worldly plans and consequently complicate the problems of material existence in their vain attempts to solve them, because material energy is so powerful it can resist the unauthorized plans of the atheists and baffle the knowledge of planning commissions. The atheistic plan makers are described herein by the word dushkritanaha, or miscreants. Kriti means one who has performed meritorious work. The atheist plan maker is sometimes very intelligent and meritorious also, because any gigantic plan, good or bad, must take intelligence to execute. But because the atheist's brain is improperly utilized in opposing the plan of the Supreme Lord, the atheistic plan maker is called dushkriti. Dushkriti means the one who is doing wrong things, which indicates that his intelligence and efforts are misdirected. In the Gita, it is clearly mentioned that material energy works fully under the direction of the Supreme Lord. It has no independent authority. It works as the shadow moves in accordance with the movement of the object. But still, material energy is very powerful. And the atheist, due to his godless temperament, cannot know how it works, nor can he know the plan of the Supreme Lord. Under illusion and the modes of passion and ignorance, all his plans are baffled. As in the case of Hiranyakashipu and Ravana, whose plans were smashed to dust, although they were both materially learned as scientists, philosophers, administrators, and educators. These dushkritinas or miscreants are of four different patterns as outlined below. So the first one is the mudhas. Mudha means grossly foolish. The mudhas are those who are grossly foolish, like hard-working beasts of burden. They want to enjoy the fruits of their labor by themselves, and so do not want to part with them for the Supreme. The typical example of the beast of the burden is the ass, the donkey. The humble beast, the donkey is very humble. The humble beast is made to work very hard. So many people, donkey-like. We work like donkeys. For what? So here, the humble beast is made to work very hard by his master. The ass does not really know for whom he works so hard day and night. He remains satisfied by filling his stomach and with a bundle of grass and sleeping for a while under the fear of being beaten by his master and satisfying his sex appetite at the risk of being repeatedly kicked by the opposite party. The ass sings poetry and philosophy sometimes, but this braying sounds only disturbs others. This is the position of the foolish, fruitive worker who does not know for whom he should work. He does not know that karma is meant for sacrifice. So most people fall into this category. They are working like this, like donkeys. They work like donkeys to earn something menial. They don't want to think about God. And they'll talk as if they know everything, but they're just talking like a donkey. So most often those who work hard day and night to clear the burden of self-created duties say that they have no time to hear of the immortality of the living beings. To such mudhas, material gains which are destructible are lives in all in all. So they think only whatever we are earning, living, this is all life is. Despite the fact that mudhas enjoy only a very small fraction of the fruit of the labor, sometimes they spend sleepless days and nights for fruitive gain, and although they may have ulcers or indigestion, they are satisfied with practically no food. They are simply absorbed in working hard day and night for the benefit of the illusory masters. Ignorant of their real master, the foolish worker wastes their valuable time serving mammon. Unfortunately, they never surrender to the Supreme Master of all masters, nor do they take time to hear of him from the proper sources. The swine, the pig, who eats the night soil, do not care to accept sweetmeats made of sugar and ghee. Similarly, the foolish worker will untiringly continue to hear of the sense-enjoyable tidings of the flickering mundane world, but will have very little time to hear about the eternal living force that moves the material world. Another class of Duskriti or miscreant is called the Naradham, or the lowest of mankind. Nara means human being and Adham means the lowest. Out of the 8,400,000 different species of being, there are 400,000 human species. Out of these, there are numerous lower forms of human life that are mostly uncivilized. The civilized human beings are those who have regulative principles of social, political, and religious life. Those who are socially and politically developed, but who have no religious principles, must be considered Naradhams. Nor is religion without God religion, because the purpose of following religious principle is to know the supreme truth and man's relation with him. In the Gita, the personality of Godhead clearly states that there is no authority above him and that he is the supreme truth. The civilized human form of life is meant for man's reviving the lost consciousness of his eternal relation with the supreme truth. The personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who is all-powerful. Whoever loses this chance is classified as Naradham. So those people who do not believe in religion are called Naradhams. Who are uncivilized are called Naradhams. We'll talk about this tomorrow. I'll just read the purport and we'll end it up. We get information from revealed scriptures that when the baby is in the mother's womb, he prays to God for deliverance and promises to worship him alone as soon as he gets out. To pray to God when he is in difficulty is a natural instinct in every living being because he's eternally related with God. But after his deliverance, the child forgets the difficulties of birth and forgets his deliverer also, being influenced by Maya, the illusory energy. It is the duty of the guardians of children to revive the divine consciousness dormant in them. The 10 processes of reformatory ceremonies, as enjoined in the Manusmriti, which is the guide to religious principles, are meant for reviving God consciousness in the system of Varnashram. However, no process is strictly followed now in any part of the world, and therefore 99.9% of the population is Naradham. People look civilized, but when there is no God in civilization, there is an uncivilized or Naradham. When the whole population becomes Naradham, naturally all their so-called education is made null and void by the all-powerful energy of physical nature. According to the standard of Gita, a learned man is he who sees on equal terms the learned Brahmana, the dog, the cow, the elephant, and the dog-eater. That is the vision of the true devotee. Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who is the incarnation of Godhead, is Divine Master, delivered the typical Naradhams, the brothers Jagai and Madhai, and showed how the mercy of a real devotee is bestowed upon the lowest of mankind. So the Naradham who is condemned by the personality of Godhead can again revive his spiritual consciousness only by the mercy of a devotee. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in propagating the Bhagavad Dharma or activities of the devotees, has recommended that people submissively hear the message of the personality of Godhead. The essence of this message is Bhagavad Gita. The lowest among human beings can be delivered by this submissive hearing process only, but unfortunately, they even refuse to give an oral reception to the messages, and what to speak of surrendering to the will of Supreme Lord. Naradhams, or the lowest of mankind, willfully neglect the prime duty of human being. The next class of the Skriti is called Maya Aprityajnana, or those persons whose erudite knowledge has been nullified by the influence of illusory material energy. They are mostly very learned fellows, great philosophers, poets, literati, scientists, etc. But the illusory energy misguides them, and therefore they disobey the Supreme Lord. There are great number of Maya Aprityajnana at the present moment, even among the scholars of Bhagavad Gita. In the Gita, in plain and simple language, it is stated that Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but there is none equal to or greater than him. He is mentioned as the father of Brahma, the original father of all human beings. In fact, Sri Krishna is said to be not only the father of Brahma, but also the father of all species of life. He is the root of impersonal Brahman and Paramatma, the super soul in every entity. His plenary portion. He is the fountainhead of everything, and everyone is advised to surrender unto his lotus feet. Despite all these clear statements, the Maya Aprityajnana deride the personality of Supreme Lord and consider him merely another human being. They do not know that the blessed form of human life is designed after the eternal and the transcendental feature of the Supreme Lord. All the unauthorized interpretations of the Gita by the class of Maya Aprityajnana outside the purview of the Parampara system are so many stumbling blocks on the path of spiritual understanding. The deluded interpreters do not surrender unto the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, nor do they teach others to follow this principle. So these are Maya Aprityajnana. So third category. And the fourth or the last class of the Skriti is called Asuram Bhava Asritaha, or those of demonic principles. This class is openly atheistic. Some of them argue that the Supreme Lord can never descend upon the material world, but they are unable to give any tangible reasons as to why not. There are others who make him subordinate to the impersonal feature, although the opposite is declared in the Gita. Envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the atheist will present a number of illicit incarnations manufactured in the factory of his brain. Such persons whose very principle of life is to decry the personality of Godhead cannot surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord. Sri Yamunacharya Alabandaru of South India said, "O my Lord, you are unknowable. to persons involved with atheistic principles, despite your uncommon qualities, features, and activities. Despite your personalities being confirmed by all the revealed scriptures in the quality of goodness, and despite your being acknowledged by the famous authorities renowned for their depth of knowledge in the transcendental science and situated in the godly qualities. Therefore, in summary, there are 4 people who will not surrender: the grossly foolish person, the lowest of mankind, the deluded speculators, and the professed atheists, as mentioned above, never surrender unto the lotus feet of Godhead in spite of all scriptural and authoritative advice. So here we will end it up today. Tomorrow we are going to learn 4 types of devotees who are going to surrender to Lord. So, and we will understand this concept more tomorrow. So with this, we end up the class. Let me see your comments. Okay, the state of superiority of Lord is also explained in Brahma Vaivat Puran, other than Srimad Bhagavad Puran. Yes, everywhere. Does the Lord speak of the string theory? Here from 2nd verse onwards, I am not actually aware of the string theory, so I cannot comment on that. So it is so difficult to create the silence in mind, ma. Yeah, it is, but by practice it happens. Abhyas yogena kaunteya, Bhagavan said in chapter 6. Abhyas yogena kaunteya vairagena dhariyet. So you have to practice renunciation and you have to practice. You'll get it. But the easier method is to remember him by his names. Shravan Kirtan Smarana. All right, so we'll end up the class. Jai Ma.